everyone. How are you guys today? You guys, this is a really exciting day. We're having a lot of fun. I hope you've been catching all the lives this morning. My name is Brandy. I'm the owner and artist behind Brush by Brandy. And I am here live on the Redesign with Prima page, and we are going to be introducing the new collections from Redesign today. So these have never been seen before, and then we're going to work on a project together using some of them at the end of the broadcast, so stick around and see what I did with all of these new products today. I actually have two collections that I'm going to be showing you, and these are both part of a larger fall collection. So the colors in them, if you think of very warm greens and oranges and burgundy tones, all very popular for fall. But I also feel like when we decorate things for our own house, they should be things that evoke emotion, things that make us happy. Fall is my absolute favorite time of the year. It speaks to my soul. I love cold days, sitting on the couch. I love putting on boots and scarves and sweaters, and it is my favorite. I love when the weather starts to cool down a little bit. So we are there. The leaves are going to start changing. Let's see what Redesign with Prima brought us for the fall. Okay, so first I'm going to show you, let's show you the Autumn Bliss collection. And I have a little sample of everything behind me. You guys can kind of see what I'm going to be showing you today. Some pretty stuff up there, but I'm going to be pulling down off my wall. So this is the Autumn Bliss collection for Redesign. Okay, so there are a total of 4 things in this collection. We've got a large transfer. This is one that comes in a tube. It's the 24 by 35 size, and this is called Harvest Hues. Okay, since tube transfers are so hard to show you guys on camera, I did have a print made of this transfer. This would be in a 24 by 35 size, so this is the big guy. This is the one that will fill the entire front of your furniture piece, but I want to show you guys the colors in this. Can you guys see those? When I had this print made, I looked at it and I was like, this is amazing. It is gorgeous. We're going to be using one of the transfers from this collection today. So I'm going to show you how I imagine these colors going onto a furniture piece. So this one again is called Harvest Hues. And this is going to be your big, giant 24 by 35. Comes in a total of 2 sheets. It's seamed down the middle, and it's got the seam from Redesign that weaves in and out of the pattern, so they're very hard to see. And I'll show you that in just a little bit when I show you my project that I did also with this size transfer. So let's put this guy up here. So that one's called Harvest Hues. All right, let's check out. This is the decoupage paper for this collection. This one's called Botanical Bliss. You can see just in my package, I'm going to open this and unfold it for you guys, but can you see these orange colors that are on here? It's beautiful. It's got a really pretty black background on this, which makes the colors stand out even more. So this is what it looks like in the package, and if I go ahead and remove mine, you guys ready for this? It's so pretty. All right, this is the full unfolded paper, and it's got those really rich colors to it. I love the black background. It makes it stand out. It's super dramatic. I'm going to hold it up against the white here so you can really see the design on there. I know that's low for you. Can you see that? You guys, my husband Sean is here behind the camera. If you have any questions about any of the new collections, go ahead and pop on. Sizes, what colors would they go with? Anything like that? We can help you figure all that out.
Sherry's excitedly watching Between Patients.
Oh no, Sherry, don't neglect your patience for us, please. Patience meaning doctor's patience. Okay, so this has shades of white in it, oranges in here, beautiful rich oranges, some red tones in there, a lot of the white tones, there's some beiges. The greens are gorgeous. It's got the deep emerald greens, but it also gives you some other tones of green. So this could really go with any shade of green too. This paper is stunning. Okay, so I'm going to put this one, let's see, if I steal the tape, I think I can put this back up on the wall so you guys can look at this while we're going. Because this one doesn't deserve to be in a package. And all of these items coordinate. So if you notice the transfers that I showed you, it's got a lot of the same color. So you can kind of imagine if you use the transfer on the front of your furniture piece, You could line your drawers with this or put this on the drawer sides and just have that really dramatic pop of color on there too. All right, so we're still working on the Autumn Bliss collection. I almost fell off the stool. That would have been the best part of the broadcast, huh? It'll happen eventually, guys. Don't worry. Keep tuning in. Eventually I'll fall off the stool.
We just got to make sure it's on camera.
Okay, so this is part of the Autumn Bliss collection. This is called Seasonal Splendor, and this is the midi size transfer. This is actually what I'm going to be using today. And the midi size is great for the piece I'm going to be working on. Is a small Bombay chest, but you can use these on nightstand size pieces. These are good for jewelry boxes, jewelry armoires, those middle size pieces that aren't quite a full size 60-inch dresser, but still gives you the ability to coordinate across different size furniture pieces. So I'm going to take this one out of the package so you guys can see the colors in there. And we're going to use this today. So I feel like there can be some intimidation behind using some of these buildable transfers. So these are the ones that come where you would cut them up and you build the design yourself. And sometimes that's intimidating when it's not just given to you straight on the piece of paper. How do you build the design? We're going to build a design today. That's exactly what I have planned. And we're going to use this transfer here. So this has a lot of, the greens again are gorgeous, a lot of greenery. Has some fruit on there, which is very fall inspired fruit with those orange colors. A lot of creamy whites, oranges, peaches, all in that color range. So it's really, I love these colors, you guys. That like my heart gets warm when I think about it. So this one again is called Seasonal Splendor, and the size on this one is 8.5 by 11. It comes in 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11. And we'll cut that one up in just a little bit, and we're going to put it on a furniture piece today. All right, and the last piece of this collection, pulling down from my wall back behind us. So this is the maxi transfer, okay? And again, I have mine made onto prints, so you can really see the colors on this. The maxi is called Autumnal Bliss. So let's see, do they all have the word? Nope, they don't. I was thinking the paper, I thought maybe they all have the word bliss in them, but of course they don't. They don't.
That would be blissful.
Autumnal Bliss. This is 2 sheets of 12 by 12. So you get 1/2 of the transfer, and it comes in a bunch like this. And then you get the other half of the transfer. And then you would seam them together down the middle. And the seam on yours, it weaves in and out of that pattern, so you cannot tell where the seam is. I'm going to hold this up close so you can see some of the colors.
Website for purchasing.
Okay, these are all available now at your local Redesign with Prima retailer. So you can go to redesignwithprima.com. You can go to find a retailer, and that will tell you where your closest one is. They have these in stock now, and many of them will ship. So even if you find your closest one, you don't want to drive there, they will ship to you. So these are at your local retailers now. Many of your retailers have a website where they'll have these listed on their websites. If you already have a favorite, they should have these up and available as of right now. So gorgeous colors. Do you guys have a favorite so far? I had no idea I would love that Autumnal Bliss collection. So that's the Autumn Bliss collection. And again, it's got 4 things in it. It's got the decoupage paper. It's got the large transfer, which is a 24 by 35 size that comes in a tube. It's got the maxi transfer, which is the 2 pieces that seam together down the middle. And then the midi transfer, which is a middle size. And that's the 3 sheets here. All right, but that's just one. But wait, there's more. Sharon loves when I say that. Sharon's not on with us today.
Redesign is on.
Yes, Redesign is on. Thank you guys so much for being on with us. All right, you guys ready to go to the one that I used for my first piece with one of these collections? It's called the Autumn Antler Elegance. That's a lot of words.
There's more.
Autumn Antler Elegance. I will not be saying that a lot of times. So
what's the name of that?
I know no one's asking you that. All right, the Autumn Antler Elegance collection is these here. Can you see that on camera very well?
Yes, but they can't. There you go.
Okay, and the Autumn Antler Elegance collection has a whole bunch of good things in it. So you guys want to start, like, you want to start, which I have a little treat here under under my towel. I'll save that till the end. We'll look at what I did with this in the end, because I want you guys to stick around. That's going to be the piece that I posted a sneak peek of up on my page at Brush by Brandy yesterday.
But do I have to stick around?
I'm going to show you guys the completed piece today. All right, the first thing I'm going to show you is the decoupage decor tissue paper. Okay, this is called Cedar Creek, and it's 19 by 30 inch size. So if I bring this down here, can you see this? So this one's on a white background, but it's got great colors. Again, a lot of greenery, and the Antler collection has, of course, in all the designs, has antlers in it. So very, very organic feeling. I love the colors in this. Some burgundy colors, some black tones, a lot of greens, those peach and orange colors. The thing I like about these two collections too is they actually will tie in with each other. So if you liked this paper, you could definitely use it with the colors in the Autumnal Bliss collection, and it would definitely work. But this is the decor tissue paper. So this one has the white background. It's got a sort of a crackling design on it, and then it has a pattern that repeats. So this little pattern right here repeats across the paper.
And what's this collection called?
This one's called the Autumn, or the...
Nobody asked. Just...
it's too many words. I don't know. Autumn Antler Elegance. Autumn Antler Elegance.
Bless you.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. Can we just call it the Antler Collection? Can I say that? Will Redesign yell at me? Can you block Redesign really quick? And then... All right. So, let's put this one back up on my wall. Okay. So, this is the paper, and this is called Cedar Creek. Have you guys been watching the lives this morning? Do you have a favorite so far? I'm going to open this up a little bit before I hang it back up so you can kind of just see those colors on the paper.
My favorite is the name of the collection.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely my favorite too.
And sorry that YouTube's getting the rear shot.
The rear view?
Yeah.
That's not my best side. All right, let's show you guys. I want to save the best for last, which is, of course, the transfers, because they've got all the colors in them. All right, this is a stencil, and this is called Wildwood Cabin. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the packaging. Wildwood Cabin. And again, it repeats our antler design. So you guys can see here, it's got the antlers with a floral, and this is a stencil.
They're checking out pores.
It's a 9 by 12 size. How's my skincare routine there? This is a 9 by 12 size, and I'm going to show you this to you against the colored background of my furniture piece here, so you can see the...
Of course you are.
The detail in that stencil. This also will give you a clue as to what colors I used on this furniture piece over here. So it's got a floral, and you could do this in all different colors, using some colors for your antlers, some different colors for your florals. This is a really pretty stencil. It does have a light thickness to the stencil, which means you can do a lightly raised stencil pattern with this. Okay, so this is called Wildwood Cabin. That's the stencil for this collection. All right, back to the wall you go, Wildwood Cabin. I lost my piece of tape. There it is. All right, and I'll show you this transfer. This is called Willow Way, and this is the midi size. So Redesign has 3 sizes of transfers. 3, is that right? No, 4 sizes now. There's the mini, the midi, the maxi, and then their full size 24 by 35 transfers.
You can't make that start with an M?
Yeah, I know.
No?
What would it be called?
Massive?
Yeah. All right, note that, Redesign. You guys write that down? Yeah? Marketing.
I'm in charge of marketing.
Marketing tips. All right, so this is what it looks like in the package. This one's called Willow Way, and this is that 3-sheet transfer. Okay, so it's got dahlias in there, black dahlias. I tried to Google like photos of that, and it wouldn't pull up anything. Like,
really?
All you get is murder scenes.
Yeah, no kidding. So weird.
But really pretty fall colors. Some peaches, pinks, the creams, similar colors. I see some similarities between the two collections, And then of course you've got those antlers. So you could build this up across whatever you're using it for, your small home decor project, and then add the antlers on, you know, and you can choose the angle to best fit your project that you're working on, whether you have them going up more, if you've got a more vertical piece. I love buildable designs like this where I really get to customize how they work on the piece. It's what I would choose. Because I usually reimagine my transfers, no matter what, I reimagine them into a different way than how they appear in the package. So it's nice when they're all buildable.
I let my pieces choose me. I don't choose them. That's why I don't have any pieces.
Well, I think I usually choose your pieces.
Yeah, well, this is true.
All right, this is the maxi transfer called Prairie House, and this is what this one looks like in the package. Okay, so this is going to be those two 12 by 12 sheets. You can see here on the back of the package.
Oh, poor check.
It shows the cut down the middle. All right, all of these transfers come with a stick in the package. This is the transfer tool that you'll use to apply it, and we're going to use that today. Oh, this one, oh, I was like, oh, this one has extra pieces. It's the cut ups from the piece that I already did. Doesn't come with those, guys. That's me. All right, so this comes with two 12 by 12 sheets. Look at the greens in that. Gorgeous greens. It does have the antlers. I guess I'm holding this upside down. You could apply it either way though, because that didn't look wrong. It just had my antlers facing down, but I think they really could be to either direction. What do you guys think?
It's One Direction.
Sean's favorite band is One Direction, but I feel like this could go either way. Yeah, I like it either way. Actually, see those antlers on the bottom, and they kind of face every which direction, so it doesn't limit you. You could use this vertically. This would be gorgeous up the front of like a jewelry armoire, a taller piece like that, kind of a stacked look. Super pretty colors in this. Okay, so let's put this back. And are you guys ready? I think we're down to, oh, I have some molds to show you. We're going to pour some molds today too. All right, so we'll put my transfer up there so you guys can see those colors as we go. I'm gonna have to put these all back in the package later. You guys realize what I'm doing for you here, okay? I would never open all of it.
Making a mess.
Yeah, I'm totally making a mess. All right, so the granddaddy, the grand reveal for this collection is what I used on my first piece, and it's called Rustic Charms. This is the big 24 by 35, and you guys love the colors on this furniture piece. So let's show you what I used it for here. And I'm going to show you the front of my piece.
If you could just move to the side, we'd really appreciate it.
I know, nobody wants to see me. All right, so this is the full-size transfer. And I, of course, used mine, so I don't have it to show you in the package. But this one comes also with another piece to it that I didn't end up using, but I'll show you that. So it does have wording on it that says welcome home. And I actually cut this off because I feel like I could use this on a separate, like a sign or some other kind of home decor project. So I cut that off, but that is part of the transfer. And then you guys saw pieces of my transfer fall out of the package. Well, those are little corner pieces, and I didn't use them on mine because I felt like this center design was just the right size for this furniture piece. But it does have two corner designs also that you can use in conjunction with the transfer that has all the same colors in it. Couple fun things I wanted to show you guys on this is I've opened these transfers a few times, and you guys might have seen the Hue Harmony piece of the transfer, which is coloring. It pulls out some of the ink colors from the transfer itself. These aren't all of the colors, but it pulls out some colors, and this can help you choose paint colors to go with your transfer. So if you're choosing a wall color, or you're choosing your bedding or art, you can take these colors and take them to the store with you, or you can hold them up against each other and it will show you. But these are transfers now too. I'm going to save every one of these from the transfers from now on. And I'm going to probably make like a little swatch book of the colors from the different transfers. And it shows what transfer it's from. So then I will have a little book that will show me what colors are in each one. And I can match those together. These are transfers now. How cool is that? I'm super excited about that. It's a silly thing, but I'm going to save them all and make like a little swatch book. All right, so I applied this. It did have a seam down the middle. You cannot even tell where my seam is. I'm going to try to find it.
Now, if I get down here and zoom in, you cannot then change and go, look way up here, because then it messes everything up.
I can tell where my seam is. It runs, but you guys looking, it runs right across here. It's right in the middle of that drawer, but it weaves in and it's not a straight line anymore. It weaves in and out of this pattern, so it gets lost in the pattern. I have to search for it, and I can tell because I, of course, made the piece.
I'm going to do a straight line.
The colors that I used on this are from Wise Owl Paint, and I use black cherry. It's a 3-color blend of black cherry, raspberry beret, and black. So those are my 3 colors. And then I got a lot of comments about the pink wax that's on here. So I wanted to show you guys what I used for that. That is from Art Alchemy, which is also from Prima. And it's one of their waxes. But these waxes, you see us most of the time using, of course, we use gold all the time, which is eternal.
See, you got to get all up in my way.
But these waxes come in a bunch of different colors. So I used a rose gold wax on this. And up against the dark color of the black and the black cherry, it just casts this light pink tone. So that's all this waxes down here that I did are in this soft rose gold color. And it just fits in with the plums and the purples of the piece. All right, so this is the transfer from the last transfer from this collection called Rustic Charms. And then this collection also has 2 molds. All right, and we're going to pour a mold today because I love some of the molds that are in these new releases. And I get to show you everything. I'm the last reveal live, so I get to show you all the stuff from the lives before me. I don't have any spoilers. All right, so these molds are called, with the names, Loggers Lodge 1
my
and 2.
Second favorite.
Loggers Lodge 1 and 2. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the package, and you can see the image of it down at the bottom. All right, and I'm going to break these both open. Loggers Lodge 1 and 2.
Wait, good question.
And
what's the name of this collection?
It doesn't have a name. The fall collection. Fall. It's called Fall.
No, that's right.
Yeah, I'm renaming everything. Okay, just so you guys know. So Loggers Lodge 1 and 2 are reverses. They have a reverse antler, so that you can have both sides of the antler, but then they've got mixed in there some of the florals that appear in these collections. Okay, and so they're not identical. They have different florals in each one.
Really quick, sorry to interrupt, it's what I do on a daily basis. The name of the wax that you just used.
It's Art Alchemy wax, but it's from Finnabair. Finnabair is one of the designers from Prima. So you guys see, like this morning, Kasha had her live and she showed her new designs. Finnabair is another designer for Prima, and she brought out a bunch of, in her design choices, she brought out a bunch of colored waxes. So there's pinks, purples, greens, blues, and this one's called Rose Gold. So it's Rose Gold wax. It's from the Art Alchemy line by Finnabair. But you can get these at your Redesign with Prima retailers, and these are also available at the Redesign with Prima website. Okay, so that's what that color looks like inside, and over the top of black, this really shines. All right, I told you guys we were going to cast some molds.
What?
So Loggers Lodge is the last part of the Autumn Antler collection. All right, so new molds. I don't want to get any resin on my furniture piece, so I'm going to cover this one up. Or should we leave it kind of exposed behind this?
No.
I just need it. You know what I'll do? I'll tuck this. I need to get rid of this sheet, so I'll tuck it into the top drawer. So it's not in my way. I can use this.
I don't see this as a crisis being averted.
Yeah, Sean usually has to clean this stuff up. Okay, I've got that sheet. It's kind of blocking me from shutting the drawer all the way, but that way you can still see the colors in here. All right, one of the molds that stood out to me in this new release was this guy here called Frost Spark. So this is a snowflake mold, and I made a project in this this is what I made using the Frost Spark mold.
Bam.
So it's a wood round, and I used some decoupage on the sides. I stenciled in my gilding wax, which was this gilding wax here. It's called Eternal.
I may be biased, but that looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool. So we're going to cast one of these snowflakes, but look at the detail in the snowflake. Can you guys see that? And I'm going to show you how we can add a little bit of color to our molds. All right, so this was shown a little bit earlier in one of the lives. I'll have Sean come in here so you guys can see. Sorry, Sean he's sitting in a recliner, you guys. You can't see him, but he pulls in like a big lazy boy.
It's motorized.
It's a little...
It's got gears?
Yeah. Well, it actually has like a catapult in it, so when he's ready to get out, it just flings him forward, and he catches his balance.
Huh.
So it's a super easy to use.
Why do you have the remote?
All right, so what I'm going to pull out, these are mica powders, and these are also from Finnabair. So we talked about Finnabair being one of the designers. So these are mica powders, and this is the total of 4 different collections. I keep mine in a Ziploc bag, but mica powders are a super fine iridescent powder, and they come in a tube like this. Let's use the white first. So I'm going to pull out the colors that I used in my project. I used a pearlescent white and then this soft blue here. So let's start with the white first.
You're really going to make me get
And what I do is I just tap a little bit into the lid. I give it a light tap, and that makes some fall into the lid. Okay, so I just have a little bit in my lid. And I haven't done anything to my mold. Nothing to this mold at all. And let's see, do you guys have a favorite one on here? Let's do this guy right here. I think this one's really pretty. I kind of want to do one of the big ones. These would be really pretty Christmas tree ornaments. Let's do this one here. And I'm going to take it, I'm just going to dust the bottom of my mold. So I'm going to put a little bit of that mica powder, just enough to cover the bottom. You don't need a lot of extra. And this is the pearlescent white. So it's just going to add a little bit of shimmer because I'm going to use casting resin, which dries white already. So when I add the white to it, this is just going to add a shimmer to the white. It's not going to change the color of it on this portion, but I thought that was appropriate because it's a snowflake that we have a little bit of pearlescent white. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of more mica powder to my lid. Just tap a little in there. That gave me kind of a refill just so I can finish going around my snowflake. You don't want a lot of extra. If you've got extra in there, it will just end up floating in your resin and then it kind of goes to waste. So you just need enough to cover the bottom of your mold. Okay, and I try to make sure I cover the sides too because I don't want those to not have the color on them. And then I'm going to put the lid back on my mica and we'll put some blue in the center. I'm going to get another, I'm just using an artist brush to apply these. Let me find another artist brush. Try to choose something that's a little firm. So many artist brushes here. This guy will work.
Oh, let's flash that. Yeah, no kidding.
So these are just kind of junky artist brushes. There's nothing great about them. I have a whole variety. And then I'm going to put this blue in the center because this snowflake is going to change from blue in the center and it's going to go white towards the outside. So I'm going to color.
What kind of casting resin do you use?
I'm going to use amazing casting resin from Alumilite. A lot of the Redesign with Prima retailers also carry the casting resin. Redesign also sells it directly. So if you're no matter who you're ordering from, they can get the casting resin. It's my favorite choice for the molds. I do have a video up on my YouTube channel showing different options. It shows hot glue, shows modeling material, which is like a clay, and the resin, and it shows a paper clay. But the resin is always my first choice. All right, so when I pour my resin, I've got 2 measuring cups here, and I store my resin in condiment bottles. So it comes in 2 parts, an A and a B, and you're going to pour equal parts of A and B. And these condiment containers make it really easy, and they're just from the Dollar Tree. So sometimes the part B, the container can wear out a little bit faster. It just kind of corrodes around the lid and clogs and stuff. So I just throw them away and I can replace the containers from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to pour about a teaspoon. No, that's 2 teaspoons. About 2 teaspoons of each one. So you pour equal parts of A and B. If your mix is slightly off, so let's say you get a tiny bit more of one or the other, it will still set up. This is a very forgiving resin. It just might take a little longer to set up, but it still will set up. And then once I've got them in their cups, they're not going to do anything until I mix them together into a 1 cup. Ooh. So I'm going to put them in this silicone cup. I use silicone tools whenever I can because the resin will just pull out of it and they're really easy to clean. All right, so I've got 1 part in there. Let's add my other part. And then once they're in there, I want to stir for about 30 seconds, not too long. You've got to move pretty quickly with this stuff. And it starts turning a little bit milky. And when it gets its translucency back, I know I'm done stirring. Okay, so just about that long, just about 30 seconds of stirring is all you need until they look mixed in your container. And then I'm going to make a spout. So I kind of bend my cup. Again, why these silicone cups are really nice to use for pouring resin. I'm going to pour it and I go slowly. I'm drizzling it into the mold. And I'm going to kind of go around the edges. Now this does have a little ornament hanger at the top and I want to get my resin into there. So I'm going to feed it around, drizzle it into that ornament hanger, and then into all the areas of my snowflake. All right, and then I prefer to underfill my mold versus overfilling it. I do have enough here to just make this 1 snowflake. So that was about 2 teaspoons of each one, made about 1 snowflake. So I find if I'm doing a whole mold, a full mold, I want to cast all these designs in any mold, even if it was the Logger's Lodge. I usually can do it off filling one of these little medicine cups. Let's see what the max these fit is. They have measurements on them.
16 gallons.
Good guess from the back. Let's see. It doesn't go all the way to the top, but I would say that's about 6 teaspoons of each one. Okay, but if I fill these little medicine cups to the top and I pour it in and stir it, I can fill a full mold. The only thing about pouring like that is you have to move really quickly, because if you're trying to do multiple designs like this from 1 pour, you've got to move fast. This resin will set up in about 10 minutes.
All right, I'm backing up.
And it's going to harden. It will start turning white. So it's clear right now. It's a liquid. It's going to start turning white. So we'll come back to that in just a minute. But I told you guys we were going to put a transfer on today. So let's put my transfer on. So tools that I like, let me put the lid on my resin, because if I knock this dresser and it spills, I'm going to cry.
And then I'm gonna be super excited.
Sean's going to come out and fix it for me. Okay, so tools I like to have out when I'm going to put a transfer on. I'm going to get out a pair of scissors because my transfer comes in a sheet like this. Okay, so my transfer comes in sheets. So I need to cut these designs out. So I have a pair of scissors. I have my transfer stick that came in the package with my transfer. And then I have out a razor knife. And I know this one's not sharp at all.
What? Oh yeah.
I know that. I know that knife is notorious for not being sharp. So I'm going to grab this other one for my workspace. With gold, falling gold leaf.
Falling from the sky.
Yeah. Can you tell what I've been doing? Which that's a clue for you guys if you've been following. I'm working on a piece on my lives. I go live every Thursday on the Brush by Brandy page, and we've been working on a piece. There might be some gold leaf involved. So check that out. I'll be live with you guys tomorrow evening. So how do I start? When I've got these 3 sheets and I want to build up a design, how do I even start? I usually start with one of the larger designs. So I'll choose something to kind of ground my pattern around. And so what I mean by larger is I've got some flowers that are a little bit bigger in this pattern. And I would say I'm looking at this guy here, this orange, the white. So I'm going to go ahead and cut one of these out, and I'm going to use this to start my placement with. So I'm just going to cut this out. Don't be afraid of cutting your transfers up, you guys. If you make a mistake, they seam right back together. All right, and I'm going to look at the shape of my piece, and I want to complement this shape. So I'm thinking I kind of want it to go around this curvature right here and maybe vine off onto the bottom of this little Bombay chest. The colors that I used on this, this is Wise Owl paint. And I've got mandarina in the middle, which is a nice bright orange. And then on the outside edges, I mixed iron oxide, which is kind of a rusty color, and I added a little bit of Republic red to it to make this burgundy burnt orange color. And then that fades into some black down on the legs, and I've got some black wax on it. These are the new molds from Kasha's collection. So let me tell you what molds I've got on here. I gotta look at the names. Not that one. Trying not to disturb my snowflake. Okay, so this is the Imperial Intricacy mold, and it comes with 2 different patterns on it, and I use both of them on here. So Imperial Intricacy, this is a mold that's available now. I poured it out of the resin just like I did with our snowflakes. There was a couple new things on the molds that I noticed that I really liked. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what I've been doing to my molds for years. They all have this on it. I write the names on the back because I need to know what the names of them are, right? But then I noticed they have the names on them now. The names are in the silicone now. So if you're ever not sure well, somebody asks you, you know, what mold is that you use? It says it on the mold now. So all mine have this. So thank you, Redesign, for doing that. But that's my mold, and I used it. I'm going to back my hardware in it. And I just had some vintage knobs from my collection that I'm using on this. I save all my old hardware, and I pulled out a couple pieces, and I'm going to reuse it on here. All right, so I'm going to start my pattern, I think, in this corner, this upper corner right here, because I'm picturing kind of a vining pattern. So once I've cut out my flower, I can take away this backing sheet, and that's going to get discarded. And then I'm going to place this right up into the corner, and I want it to kind of wrap the side of my furniture piece. So I can play with my placement and dry fit it. I see the opening of my flower is facing this way, so I want that to go towards the inside of my piece. Find my placement, and then I'm going to go ahead and seat my transfer. Once I press down on it, it's going to kind of place it. The adhesive is going to get activated. And then I'm going to take my transfer stick that came in the package, and I'm just going to rub over the top of my design. Okay, this one I'm going to wrap the edge of my furniture piece here. I want this to kind of go onto the side. I don't want a straight line where I just cut it to the curve of the side. I want it to wrap. So I'm going to take this clear backing sheet, and I'm going to use my fingers to wrap it back. I'm going to rub that part of the transfer on. Okay, and I'm going to rub it across the front edge as well, just by holding this with my fingers. And because this backing sheet has some rigidity to it, it naturally wants to straighten back out again. Got a little piece right there I want to get with my finger. All right, and do you see how it just pops right back up from that corner? So I just wrapped the corner of that, and now I can come do the front of this piece. So first I'm going to get this corner edge, make sure it's all attached to the corner. Get up here under this lip. This is unsealed paint, you guys. I do have a little bit of black wax accenting on it, but otherwise my paint is unsealed.
What black wax?
This is Annie Sloan's black wax. I love her black wax. Okay, now that I've got this seated on here, I like to make any cuts in my transfer while it's still applied to the backing sheet. Because when I take this clear backing sheet off, it's more fragile and my cuts aren't as clean. So I'm going to take my razor knife, and while I've still got that backing sheet on, I'm going to find my drawer edge. And I'm just going to slice my transfer right into that crease where my drawer is. So now I've got a cut in it. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and rub my transfer down that cut line. So now I've split this into 2 separate parts. Okay, so I've rubbed over all of it, and now I'm going to start pulling up this backing sheet. So I find a loose edge, and I'm going to go slowly. You know, this can be hard because a lot of times you watch like YouTube videos and stuff, and this is like sped up, but to see the actual time it takes to put a transfer on. Okay, I'm going slowly. And since I cut this sheet down the middle, I'm working both sides at the same time. And then as I get to the edge, you want to be careful it doesn't pull up that last tiny little piece. So I kind of use my finger and I'll guide the backing sheet off. Same thing on this side. I'm going to use my finger and just guide it off. So that's my transfer application, but it's not done yet. So from here, I take my fingers, and I use my fingers because I can feel things that I can't always feel with a burnishing pad. And I'm going to rub out any air bubbles. Okay, and the other thing I can do when I'm doing this is I can hear things. Like I do have an air bubble trapped under here. Just heard it. Oh, maybe I worked it out. You can work the air bubbles if you can push them out to an edge. Otherwise, you can just take your razor knife, and if you just pop a hole, a tiny little air hole, it will get rid of any air bubbles. Okay, so I use my fingers to do that. And then I didn't bring one of my polishing pads. So I'm just going to use a soft rag in this case, and I will burnish it with a soft rag after I do my fingers. You can, yes, oh, thank you. These are the polishing pads from Redesign, and they come in a full-size square. I cut mine up into smaller bits, and then I just use this to burnish that out, being careful around the edges. I have gold leaf everywhere. All right, and then I'm going to pull this drawer out because I cut this, and I want to just sit it into that drawer crease. I'm just going to use my fingers to wrap that side, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, and that gives me a nice crease right here for my drawer. All right, I'm going to stay in the larger pieces of the transfer. So I'm going to choose another one of my flowers. So I will build several of the flowers here, and then I'm going to fill in with leaves, and I'll get progressively smaller as I go. So I'll put a few flowers, and then I'll have some leaves. Okay, so let's do another flower, and I like this guy here. Got a yellow center on it. I think that color will look really nice against the background of my piece. So I'm going to cut this one out. You just really get to be as creative as you want. I'm going to cut this little orange. Looks like a piece of fruit, I think. All right, and then I can play with my placement and see how I like that. I like it next to this guy here.
Afternoon delight with Brandy and Sean.
Oh yeah. Ah. Like we need some background music. I feel like we don't need any background music. All right, and this one I'm going to have a couple cuts because I've got the seam between the two drawers. You can overlap the transfer. So I slightly overlapped the edge of these so that my design will look continuous. So it's kind of fun to see how this starts, and then you guys will be able to see where it ends. And how I got to the design, because you really are making your own design here. They're just giving you the raw flowers. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to pull this back, and I'm going to wrap this corner. Just by pulling that clear backing sheet around my corner, I can make the transfer conform to the shape of this curve.
Of course, you want to put those right where. I'm just going to hang out down here.
Are you touching my stuff?
Hey, shut it.
You guys, Sean actually has a regular job. He works from home. And sometimes I'm like, hey, it's Wednesday. Do you want to go live with me? He's like, so he's actually takes time from his regular job. This is his lunch break right now. All right, and then I'm going to cut that clear backing sheet right on my drawers. Just find, when I have a drawer like this where I've got a top drawer and a bottom, I will cut, I'm going to cut up against the top drawer, because any excess that I have, I want to wrap this bottom drawer. You're not going to see it under the bottom of this, but you will see a little bit wrapping that top. So I'm going to ride my blade against the bottom of the upper drawer. Okay, so that's all my cuts on this one. Although last time I didn't cut it all the way through, that would have really helped. Okay, so now I've got 3 pieces of transfer that I just made. Checking on our snowflake mold. It looks just about ready. I heard the oven timer. Just kidding.
Great. Between that, Donna's talking about smell-o-vision,
Oh.
sending dessert. Now I'm freaking hungry.
Donna's our baking friend. She always comes on every week and tells us
I don't know if she's a baking friend. She's just always baking.
Yeah.
Not really friendly because I never get anything.
She never sends you anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, food in the mail is questionable. It's like buying food out of a van. Some things you just don't do, you know? All right, so I'm going to, this one I cut all the way into 3 separate pieces. So this piece is on. This is a great example. I'm going to ask Sean to get in here close.
What?
Before I pop this air bubble. I have an air bubble right here, and you can see it because it's on this white background. You can see it pretty well.
You see what I'm...
So
working with
can you
over
guys
here.
see this here? This air bubble? It's a pocket of
No,
air.
hold on. We're gonna go. Okay, they can see it.
Okay, it's right here. I have an air bubble under my transfer.
Whoa.
See what I did right there? I kind of trapped it.
Street tacos.
So I don't really have an edge close here that I could push this air bubble out to. Because ideally you can push it out to one of the edges. Let's see if I can kind of, nope, it doesn't want to move. So it's just a pocket of air trapped. So I'm just going to take my razor blade and I'm just going to pop a hole. It just needs an air hole.
What the?
Okay, I popped it and now I'm going to burnish that bubble out. It's gone.
What the?
So you will get air bubbles. That's really common. And you just pop them like that.
I didn't even get like smoke screen or sawing someone in half.
I know.
Like, that's like a magic trick.
But it is like, it has a weird satisfying feeling to pop the air bubbles. They just get trapped under the print. Okay, and then I've got this piece right here. I'm going to use my finger. These are small pieces, so I'm going to use my finger to guide them off. You can use whatever tools you got. And then I'm burnishing that out. And then I've got this little tiny piece right down here. Try to find a corner of this clear backing sheet with my fingernail.
And now to touch on a comment from earlier I didn't get to, but stressing the importance of keeping your hardware.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I save all my hardware, you guys. All my vintage hardware. Vintage screws sometimes are weird sizes. So if you do furniture regularly, okay, I'm going to pull this drawer out a little bit because I've got a little piece of this transfer to wrap over the top of that drawer. And I'll do the side while I'm at it. I also want to say I like these lighter color transfer tools. Used to be a dark wood, but I like these because the darker color can sometimes mark your paint. And then I just use my finger to go over that. And then that polishing pad. Okay, and then I'll pull out this top drawer and same thing. I'm going to wrap the edge of the drawer, just seat that transfer down and around the bottom. Go over it with my finger and my polishing pad. Okay, and then I want to make sure I've wrapped the side here too. Okay, so far that's where I am on my transfer. Now let's kind of start building this outward a little bit. And so I'm going to look for another one of my transfer pieces. I kind of like this guy here. So there's no, you know, sometimes I make mistakes when I'm doing this, but they're never noticeable to anybody else. Sometimes I just look at it and I'm like, oh, I should have placed that, you know, a little more to the left, or should have used a different piece there. It's okay, you guys. This is a fun process. And I'm thinking I'll put this, I could go up here a little bit too. Should we go up? Let's go up with this one. All right, so same thing. I'm going to pull this backing sheet away. I love building transfers like this. I'm going to cut this clear sheet because I've got a drawer edge right here. I'm going to cut it right up to the edge of that drawer. All right, we've just got another minute or so, and then I've got to pop off because there are lives all day long, you guys, on the redesign page. So you guys, after me, there will be another live. Now that all of the collections have been revealed, everybody's going to be using them all day long. So if you guys like hanging out on lives, stay on the redesign page today and you'll have all different artists all day long. All right, this is going to run into my mold and I'm just going to cut the edge of that leaf off when I get there. Okay, but I'm going to overlap that slightly so you can kind of see how I start building up my design. Rub this on using my transfer tool. See if I have to wrap the top of my drawer. All right, let's make a cut right here because I'm gonna lose the very tip of this leaf just because it overlaps with my mold. So I'm just gonna cut the tip of that leaf off. And then I can start pulling away that clear backing sheet. Okay, I'm going to go a little faster on this one because I don't want to run into someone else's live. They'll come on and kick me off. All right, but I'm going to continue with this design exactly like that. I just sort of work one piece at a time. I've got some wrinkles in there, so I just work those out with my fingers. Any air bubbles, I press those out to an outer edge. I've got one here. I'm just going to chase it to the outer edge. If it won't go, I give it a little breathing hole. little snorkel tube. Okay, is that an official name?
No.
I'm going to wrap that around my mold here so you can see I got right up to the edge of that mold. These are the things that makes the design look a little bit more customized. All right, and I'm going to continue building this. So once I get done, I'll have this whole abundant, lush trail of flowers and leaves and everything. But that's basically how I start. And I just kind of go one piece at a time. I slightly overlap each one. I'm going to wrap all my edges for all the pieces, but it's a really fun process. So don't be scared of transfers like this. I think this is going to be a pretty design. All right, you guys. So we had the fall collection from Redesign. Pull this sheet out here. Oh, I almost forgot to show you your snowflake. All right, so once I waited about 10 minutes for my snowflake mold, and I'm just going to flex this silicone. I'm going to flex the silicone around the edges of that mold. Let's pop this boy out. All right, and look how beautiful this is. That is my finished mold. And then I just used a little bit of the gilding wax on my finger to kind of bring out some details. Like the true test of a good mold is how it takes gilding wax. Okay, so I just used a little bit of gold gilding wax on those outside edges. Really pretty. Now this does have some flexibility when it's first cast, but it is going to harden. And then I've got the ornament hanger at the top. So I can add a piece of string and this will be an ornament on my tree. All right, you guys? Okay, so we showed off 2 fall collections, the Autumn Bliss collection and the Antler.
Yep.
Antler.
Huh?
The Antler collection. Autumn Bliss and Autumn Antler.
What?
Tons of new transfers, great fall colors, really pretty new collections. So you guys check those out at your local retailers now. You guys, I will be live on the Brush by Brandy page tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're going to be working on a paint project. We're going to be using some of these new collections tomorrow. So check out my live, and I also have a YouTube video that comes out every week on my YouTube channel at Brush by Brandy over on YouTube. Stick around to the Redesign page today, and you guys will have lives all day long with all the new collections showing you guys how to use them. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will catch you guys later.